on our way to a campsite. I have no idea where this is. Charles and Tony dropped us a pin, so we're trying to follow that, but the map is being weird. Now, this was a site that was recommended to us by Maddie Van Halen and Greg at Fit for Expedition, so it should be a good one. I know both of them really enjoyed it, but we have to find it first, and it's getting closer and closer to dark, so wish us luck. We just arrived. I'm going to pull out my Joule and heat up some soup tonight because it's a pretty chilly evening. And so I thought this would be perfect time for some spicy chipotle chicken and corn chowder. I love this one. It's so good. Now while that's heating up, I'm going to go take my chair out and meet up with my friends. And then I'll be back to grab my soup in just a minute. Okay, time to go eat and join the campfire. Okay, we woke up this morning and we are getting out and going to go for a little bit of an adventure and just kind of see what's around here. I'm very excited because as we drove in last night, it's gorgeous. There's so many different campsites. We're kind of in a larger spot kind of toward the end of the lake area, so that we could all fit because we have the larger rigs. But if you have a smaller rig, you can camp down the road just a little bit, kind of where we came in, and oh my goodness, you can have waterfront view. Now it's pretty busy when we were going through there. Lots of people out camping, so definitely a lot of activities. But over here, there's something a little bit different. And so we thought this might be an interesting way to see the world uniquely. We're in the Laguna area right now, and they have a Laguna Dam area. Now you can find this on Wikipedia or you can Google it and learn a little bit more, but there's some interesting history here that I'm going to show you, but I want you to take it kind of with a grain of salt. Now this particular area has a bridge that you might notice the markings on this are a little abrupt if you've paid attention to history. However, the thing about this particular sign is it's been used for a variety of different cultures throughout time, long before it was taken by the Nazis. Indigenous culture, it has a meaning that they have woven into baskets for years. In Indian culture, they also use this, and it also symbolizes water and movement. And so this being a waterway, this is what it was inspired by. This bridge was not affiliated with the Nazi Party or white nationalism. It was instead called the Swastika Bridge as a result of these designs. However, it did not have that symbolic meaning. So it's pretty interesting to come here and see this and see a sign that we have so graphically embedded in our brains that's been used for so much toxicity and negativity, but seeing it used in the United States in a way of construction. Now this is actually a replication of the Weir Bridge, and that was something that we learned whenever we looked this up, thanks to our friend Charles, who got here a little bit before us and had already done all of the hard work in figuring that out. It is kind of polarizing to see, but at the same time, when you learn the meaning behind things as opposed to just the front-facing meaning, you can see that symbolism and symbols have been used throughout time by different groups for different meanings. And so I'm going to look on at this as the way that they have used it in the Indian culture or the Native American culture, which typically symbolizes positive things as opposed to the nasty negative ones that we are all so familiar with. We were here with a lot of friends, so we're going to go catch up with them. I want to show you some more things. Just wanted to kind of talk about the history of this first. Now, this particular system right here hasn't been used for quite some time. They built the bigger dam, the Imperial Dam, and in doing so, they kind of antiquated this one and haven't needed it since probably around the early 1900s. So it's been there for a while, but now we're going to our beautiful little nature walk to get the blood pumping this morning here at Mittry Lake. As we were walking around, we found this sign for Betty's Kitchen. This is an interpretive area, which means there should be some signs here. So we're gonna go in and find out a little bit more. Also, to our right, there's some more signs, and I think you can drive this entire road, so maybe that's an option also. It looks like this is a fee area and it's a day use region, but if you were to come here, there's no way to actually drop a fee in. So I'm not sure where you will pay for this. I haven't seen another pay center the whole time, so we're gonna keep looking and see if we can find something. This is the Betty's Kitchen area. It has lots of parking down here. There's a few shade structures. There's a toilet. Looks like there is a kiosk, but there's not any information on it. But this is neat. I really love coming out to places like this because we get to explore new things and just kind of see what's available. Now this still isn't by the lake portion. The lake portion is a little bit further over. But this is all really neat and stuff that you can get to and enjoy, and that makes it even better. Oh, this is kind of sad because there's lots of signs around here, but it looks as though there's nothing on any of them. So there's not interpretive signs on the interpretive trail. Oh! It's a sign, and Christina's going to tell us what the sign could have said at one point.
So as you can see, nature trail.
Oh, it's a marker. It's a marker.
Probably said whatever this tree was.
We're gonna just look at it. So it's a tree that has a lot of spines on it. I'm gonna stay away from these.
Pokey tree.
Pokey tree.
This is Pokey. Farnius pokius.
Farnius pokius. Okay, see? Even without the signs, we have Christine as our expert today, so we've got this, we've got this. As much as I enjoy finding the nature and the information on these signs, sometimes it's just about the adventure itself. So being able to adventure with friends is still just as good. Even if you can't find all of the details, you can still see beautiful views and incredible things. So that's kind of what we're doing right now, is just doing that. And you know, who knows, maybe we'll find a little hidden oasis like we did before. In fact, I think we might have found it. I did find one of the interpretive signs that you can kind of still read. Clearly these are a little worse for wear, but you can see that these are in fact talking about the different kinds of invasive species here in the Sonoran Desert. And this is also in the Colorado River system. It tells a little bit more about why invasive species are bad. And so as we're looking out at the vegetation, some of these things that are here might not be native to this area. And so they kind of take over. Now, one of the things I have been enjoying though is the fact that you can see they have a bench over here. Throughout this space, we've seen a couple benches, but also they've cleared the path nicely. They have all these little brush piles, which I'm assuming they'll eventually clear because it helps with the fire management. But yeah, lots of nice little areas. The path is super, super wide. So all of us can walk side by side, keep up with each other, and it not be a big deal. Speaking of which, let's keep going. Is that your new stick? It's like I want
Okay, come on, bring it with you. Get it. Bring it with you.
The things that we did learn from one of the more grayed out signs is that this area was at one time completely destroyed by a flood, but then also they've been destroyed by fire. So fire and floods in this region have decimated everything at one point in time or another. So what we're seeing here is new growth that has happened since 2011. And so the trees are smaller, the vegetation is more scruffy, and there aren't as many of the larger things that you can see up toward the waterway that are getting more nutrients. So it's pretty interesting. That's why the signs matter. Even if they're gray, look at them real careful. The question though is, why do they call it Betty's Kitchen? And so I'm hoping that we can find at least one sign that tells us about that. And everyone's kind of congregated around a sign, so maybe, just maybe, this will be the one. Well, this worse for wear sign right here that even has shells and things on it and is warped tells you a little bit about the fact that 200 years ago, Native American people living in this area would actually make baskets and kitchen utensils. So in this vast space here that is close to all the waterways, imagine villages of Indigenous people creating their homes in this area to be able to use the water, to be able to use the land, to be able to use all of these little shrubby bushes and creating things out of these. Now, each one of these might just look like it has thorns or be something that could potentially just be on the side, not doing too much. But this is the material that they would use to create some of the biggest things that today we know to be part of their culture in way of the baskets. And so you can see all the materials that they would have had are right here in front of us. These days, if we want something, we go to the store, we pick it up, we take it home. There's no work involved on our part. It's just a very consumer-driven economy. However, in the day of the Native American people, when they were here, there were no stores. Anything they needed, they had to make by hand. And the craftsmanship on those things have allowed them to withstand the test of time. They made baskets to haul water even. They were watertight baskets. They made baskets that they could store their foods in so that they could survive some of the harshest times during the year. And all of that would have come from this little natural grocery store, so to speak. Nature is so cool, but how we use nature and how we coincide with it is what that really matters. Going back to the history before, symbolism matters, but also whenever we're looking at the symbols, understanding the value behind it. In those baskets that were originally woven with those symbols that we talked about, they would have started out just looking like this. They made beautiful pieces of art out of this. It's really amazing. Super cool. We have more. Collie spotted these. And there's little bird feet down here, little prints. That's really cool. The thing about it is, when you're on a nature trail, it's not just about the signs, it's about all the different things you can find. And so whenever I come on a nature trail, I explore it uniquely. I don't just look at the obvious. I try to look at the different layers and textures. I try to look at the leaves and how they differ from place to place. I look up, I look down, I find little critters running around, and we find little footprints that might be unfamiliar. I think that's what makes nature trails the best. They're a slower pace, they're an easier trail, and pretty much anybody can do them. So with that, let's keep going. I'm gonna catch up with everybody in just a moment. Like, we found them at one of the shade structures that's along this. There's lots of places that you can either pull in and picnic or hike in and picnic. So many great places here. To think we haven't even made it to the actual lake portion. This is all the stuff that's surrounding the lake. Just going to show that there are many layers to each one of these sites. You can come out and enjoy recreating, fishing, boating, hiking, walking around, stretching your legs, just breathing in the nature. There's no wrong way to explore the outdoors. I passed by a couple of these and they have these little pods that fall from the trees everywhere. It's literally all over the ground. So we were trying to figure out what exactly these are. And there's a small sign that says that this is a honey mesquite. It is a native tree that produces, you guessed it, long seed pods. This is why signs matter, guys. Okay guys, we finished up with the nature trail. We're just walking back over to where we camped last night. Again, this is a wonderful place. There's so many things. I'm definitely gonna put this on my list to come back to just because there's so many cool things here. I'm really happy that this was a suggestion that I was given. Now, the one thing I will say is it's been pretty dry the past few days, so I've been continuously having to chew gum to keep moisture in my mouth, but here there's no wind, so it's been good. It's pretty warm during the day, but not so warm that it's like hot when I'm here, so I'm okay with this. Definitely enjoy a good relaxing day with friends, good walk, good stretch, and a good beautiful location. I was walking along and there's some dog prints, but there's also these elongated ones, and I'm not exactly sure what these are, but there's a bunch of them and they are definitely elongated. Huh, very different than just the regular dog prints. Interesting. you never know what you find, that's for sure. We're almost back to camp though, and once we get here, then I think it's almost time for us to head out. Riley and I are going to be going on a different adventure path, and we're going to be parting ways. And I'm kind of sad because I'm going to miss everybody. We don't get to see everybody very frequently. So when we do, it's really, really nice. But we have about a week of travel that we can do before Riley has to be back for some obligations. And so we're going to see what all we can get into. I think it's going to be really epic. Again, though, I don't know what that's going to look like just yet, but we'll figure it out. Until then, we're almost there. We're almost there. Just like that, we are back. We're about to say our goodbyes. We're near the proving ground still, so we can hear the flights going overhead. And there's been quite a few military planes today for sure. But yeah, this is just kind of how we spend our morning with our walk and then this. And then Riley and I are going to head to town and take care of our business. We're just waiting kind of on Ernie and Brandy to get back. They went to go scout out a location, but we want to make sure we say goodbye. There they are. I see them. There they are. They came back. Hey guys. Okay guys, that's it. That's it for us here at Mittry Lake with our friends. This has been quite the wild ride. I have thoroughly enjoyed it. Last few weeks have been just absolutely epic. But now, time to head on down the road. I don't know where we're gonna end up yet. I know Riley and I are gonna go into Yuma. We're gonna have just a regular day. I'll share what that looks like so we can figure out where we end up, but man, let the good times roll, for sure. I think today, I didn't really want to have a song of the day. I just wanted to kind of live in the moment and just enjoy myself. But now, Transformers, let's roll out. Till next time, bye.